NHL Nightly with your host, the sports, a.k.a. Beer Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico and Barry.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to NHL Nightly. I am your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, maybe it's Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico and Barry. Pearlo, our handicapper. Rico, our goal-scoring prop / beer league correspondent. Rico, you been playing any beer league lately?
I have, and all of a sudden I got this crazy tendonitis. I guess it's called tennis elbow or something. I've been doing these like at-home physio things. It's like unbelievable painful. It absolutely sucks. I've never had that before, but dealing through it, playing through it, you know.
I'm not muted. I'm not muted, John. You must have me muted on something else. I might be muted. I don't know. Yep. Nice to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Okay, yeah. So I think the lead story of the day has to be the Geno Malkin story of him getting robbed in his 3 Stanley Cups. So here's the problem. If you're a professional athlete, these high-end thieves, they know where you're going to be when you're playing your sport. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and he was actually not playing, but I think he was scratched. So craziness, just pretty amazing. That and it sounds like some NFL players, like this is maybe a professional ring that is doing this job, but it's just one of those unfortunate things. I made a little joke on Bleacher Report. Imagine some Yinzer going into like sell the rings at a pawn shop or something. It's like, dude, hey guy, I got these rings.
Yeah. They're one of a kind.
So if you guys don't know, the guy from Vancouver that I had the conversation with wasn't aware that Yinzer, it's a term for Pittsburgh people. Yins. It's just how they talk. So famous Yinzers, Pat McAfee is probably the most famous Yinzer out there right now. So, but Michael Keaton is a Pittsburgh guy, you know.
Yeah. Did you hear like everybody else, like all the professional athletes, like this string and epidemic, like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow, Luka Doncic, Bobby Portis, Tyler Seguin had his home burglarized back in November.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm. This is nuts.
Well, so it goes to show you these guys have got high-tech stuff they can get in. You know why I never get robbed? Because I'm always home.
Pat, you got seven alarm dogs.
No, I have 5, and they wouldn't do shit to them.
But they would alert you.
No, they wouldn't alert me. They only bark at like kite skiers and people ice skating on the lake. And somebody broke in. They try to destroy the UPS man who actually is supposed to be here. But some rando comes on here. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, who are you? You're new. Blah blah blah." So. Yeah, what about that elbow from McDavid, Avi? Okay, so Malkin is robbed. That sucks big time. This is kind of brutal. Like tonight, the puck. I got to give Buffalo credit, by the way. How about you picking McLeod? Another goal-scoring prop. McLeod not only scores a goal 19 seconds into the game, he has a hat trick, first career, and he's got to be the only player in NHL history to get his stick broken on an empty net in it for it count. So, that's just douchey move by Brent Burns in the first place. Like, dude, the guy beat you up the ice because he's faster than you anyway. He also happens to be half your age. Just let him have the tap-in hat-trick goal. You lost the game. Like, fair. By the way, I'm going to say this right now, and I want your guys' opinion. Let's go to the narrow so we can – Pearlo, slide just a little bit. This is why we don't do this shot anymore. There you go. Nope, you slid the right way the first time, and then you slid back the wrong way. Nope. There you go. Maybe put a mark on your floor or wherever that when you're centered. Here we get to see that sick looking.
I was just sharing out the stream.
It looks good on you, dude. Anyway, I'm glad it's a nice housewarming gift for you. We gotta get something for your wife, I guess. But
Pearlo's the only guy I know that moved his house from Edmonton to Fort Wayne. Like he moved the whole house to where he is now.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Good brick by brick. So there is actually a house here in on a lake over by me that was built in like the 1600s, and they moved it from like Massachusetts to here. Yeah, it's just a square. There's nothing special about the house.
Yeah.
Just it looks like an old style New England like 2-story home. But yeah, it's crazy. And you're like, oh, it's nuts, man. Pretty crazy. I don't know the people that live there, but they look like interesting cats. I'd love to know them. Anyway, but so just Alaska didn't even become a state till 1949. You won't find there was a couple homes in Anchorage that we looked at a house that was like 1936, and then of course we bought a house that was built in 54. But you won't find construction usually older than the 70s or 80s, really, because most of the stuff that was built back in the gold rush days and stuff don't meet standards. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna get to that, Sod. I got a lot of stuff to get through here. Yeah, Avi, I'm kind of sick of hearing the TNT guys are better than the ESPN guys. The only reason people like TNT so much is Biz. And I get it. Biz is the best. But Anson Carter is milquetoast. Liam is whatever. I don't know. I just feel like Buchagras, PK Subban, Kevin Weeks, the ESPN guys bring a lot to the table. Steve Levy, pretty darn good hockey guy in his own right. You could take or leave Eddie Olczyk for me. I know people think he's great, but yeah, I disagree, Avi. I don't think it's that big of a margin. I think it has everything to do with Biz. Biz is the Charles Barkley. They did a good job of getting somebody in there that's going to speak off the cuff and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I fundamentally disagree. I like the guy. I like Bob Wischusen. I think he's the best guy calling hockey in the NHL right now, and he calls games for ESPN. So for me, it's a play-by-play. I mean, yeah, you get Gretzky too. That helps. But he's on like once every 4 months. So
yeah, and they're just a little bit more laid back on TNT. Like Lundqvist, he's soft-spoken. Gretzky, like you said, Biz makes the biggest difference on that panel too. But I'm a big fan of John Buchagras too. So I love.
Like Arda O'Cal is unbelievably good. He's so good. And AJ Malesko, when she's not doing games, it's usually Arda and AJ. Awesome. They also it's Bucci and Ray Ferraro. I mean, how do you not like Ray Ferraro calls games in Canada for Sportsnet too? Like he's everywhere. I think he calls for he used to call for TSN too. I mean, he's just been everywhere. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, Avi, I fundamentally disagree. Bob Wischusen, the best guy calling games right now. Yeah, but John Forsland. But tonight it's Kenny Albert. Okay, Kenny Albert calls games for the New York Rangers on the radio. Yeah, you don't like good. Ray Ferraro, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, he's been doing it a long time. People think he's good. It's like, I don't hire these people. I don't know why this is even a conversation. Okay, Kovacic was fine for the cross-check on Matthew Tkachuk. By the way, that Matthew Tkachuk hit was not dirty. It was a clean hit on Hischier. The puck's right there. He hits it in the chest. He doesn't leave his feet. His feet come off the ice when he makes contact with him. That happens all the time. Like, he wasn't fined. It was nothing. He ended up getting 4 minutes on that. So, like, that's ridiculous. And then the big news of the day as far as player movement, Tristan Jarry on waivers. Still got how many years left on the deal there? Oh, my dear Lord.
Yeah, I remember when we had Colby Armstrong on the show, and that's the one question I had asked him, going into the season with Tristan Jarry in year 2 of his 5-year deal. And that was on one of his checklists for the team. I think one of them was a power play or penalty kill, and the next one was Tristan Jarry living up to this contract that he's
what sucks for
signed into. So
what sucks for them is, and dude, they lost to Columbus in a shootout or whatever, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like they've been playing pretty good hockey. Like,
they have. They're just not getting a big save from Jari when they need it. I think that's
right. But he has. I mean, I felt like Nedeljkovic had kind of taken the role last year anyway. Then they end up giving Jari, like, Frank Saravelli carved up. He carved Dubas today, and I'll quote it. And you guys, I got to figure out what's going on with the thing. So, he says, here, I'll get it here. It's just easier for me to. I should have had it ready and teed up. He said, with Tristan Jarry on waivers, it's a beyond time to discuss how much damage Kyle Dubas did to the Pittsburgh Penguins year one. And a fresher of timeline on transactions. I love Frank. This is so good by him. June 28th, in his first trade, Dubas bailed out the Vegas Golden Knights and traded their third-round pick in exchange for forward Riley Smith, who had 2 years left, remaining at $5 million. After a below-average season in which Smith's goal production was cut in half, Dubas traded Smith to the Rangers on July 1st, 2024, for a pick one round higher in 2027. Draft that might not help Dubas until 2030. In addition, Dubas added $1.25 million in dead space to retain 25% on Smith. So Smith is getting retained by them. July 1st, 2023, 5 separate deals. Dubas spent more than $65 million. Tristan Jarry, 5 years at $5.375. So he has 3 years left. No, Avi, the Flyers actually have good goaltending prospects. They just got to get those guys North American ready. And this is after they lost arguably the best goalie in, I would argue it's the best Canadian goalie that was out there. Like Carter Hart was supposed to be a guy, right? Then defenseman Ryan Graves, 6 years times $4.5 million. I don't hate that deal. Graves isn't terrible. I thought Fred Fitzgerald was smart to walk away from. Lars Eller at 2 years, $245 million. Yeah, I mean, he traded him to Washington for a third-round pick, and he's in the last year of his deal now. So I don't know. I don't hate $2.45 million for Lars Eller. He's a pretty solid third-line player in the NHL still. He's a good skater. He's a decent face-off guy. That's not a horrible deal. Forwards Noah Chari and Matt Nieto, 3 years times $2 million. Those ones I don't hate. They don't cost anything. Basically, you got both those guys at basically league minimum. 2 years times $900 for Nieto. Nieto's been hurt. So Achari surprisingly earned a 3-year deal after Dubas. Is Achari with the Leafs now?
No, he was with the Leafs.
Okay. Yeah, he was with Toronto last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, he went to Pittsburgh.
2 years ago.
Okay, he signed as a free agent after that. Yeah, he was solid for them too, wasn't he pretty good for the Leafs?
All right.
He's all right. He was there when Lafferty was there, and they had tried to just have these guys in the bottom six.
Was he on the Blues when they won the Cup?
I don't know if they won the Cup with him, but yeah, I think he played for the Blues before that, so he might have. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't he go to Boston for a bit too? I think he was in Boston.
Anyway, if you guys are interested in reading that article from Frank Saravelli, I'll put it in the chat. But regardless, I'll look up Noah Chari because I wanted to get your guys' opinion on Jari on waivers before we move on from that, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff the chat wants to talk about. I got some other questions. I got 2 more things for you guys that are significant to us, and then whatever you guys want to talk about. Pearlo, give your thoughts on the Jari. If you don't, I mean,
well, the Jari deal. I remember when it happened. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's just.
I think everybody,
so inconsistent. But I think what happened is they just got backed into. They couldn't find anyone else, and they got backed into him being the last one standing. And from what I understand, like the players were supporting him and saying, he can. He just needs to build up his confidence. You hear all that sort of things, especially when you're new to the organization. You kind of got to listen to the people around you. And he said, well, all right, we'll give him a shot. We'll see what happens. And well, we saw what happened. Everybody kind of thought that was going to happen, and it did. The Graves deal was bad too. That wasn't a good deal.
Yeah, I don't think 4-5 for a 3-4 defenseman is
I
awful.
don't think he is, though. That's the thing. Like he New Jersey, there was a lot of frustration in New Jersey with Graves down the stretch.
I thought he actually didn't he play for the Avalanche too? I thought was he on the Avs Cup team?
Did he go to the Avs first? He might have. I'll check.
I thought he did. Okay, so
You're checking
Achari,
one thing out,
my
I'll check
bad.
the other thing out.
So Achari was with the Bruins. That's
the Bruins. I knew he was with the Bruins.
He was on the Bruins team that lost in the Cup final in 2018, 2019. Actually, yeah, he was just on that Bruins team, but he was with the Bruins from 2015. He played 4 years in Boston, then 3 years in Florida. Then he was with the St. Louis Blues, then with Toronto, and now he's with Pittsburgh. He's very consistently, if he's a minus player, he's a bad minus player this year, minus 13, but he's very much, for the most part, like almost an even player or close to. Plays, it looks like he's not played more than 66 games. Oh, no, sorry. When the year they went to the finals with the Bruins, he played 72 games. But this year, it looks like he's been healthy because he's played 46 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. He's a minus 13. That's not great. Only 12 penalty minutes. Is he a center? Do they list him as a center? He's a pretty solid
you can play both.
Face-off guy, right? Oh, I did not know he was a Rhode Island guy. Did he go to college? He's undrafted. Is he an undrafted college guy? Yeah, Providence College. Okay, that makes so much sense. Achari was on the ice with Providence College teammates celebrating the school's first national championship after a 4-3 victory against Boston University. Venue was so he won a college national championship in April of 2015. So that's why he only played 19 games for the Bruins that year, but he signed with the Bruins and played 19 games and had 1 assist. So only had like 9 minutes during those games, but total or average, but still, yeah, so they signed him. He's an out of college free agent. So those are the type of things that you guys see from time to time. Okay.
He started in Colorado, Graves.
Did you guys hear the news about the new arena for the Fly? I thought Graves. I was right on that. Okay. New arena for the Flyers and 76ers per 2031. This is interesting to me because the Flyers, they just dumped like $400 million into that arena they're in now, and they're going to build another one. Yeah, Jack Eichel and Matt Gritz on the Terriers. Jack Eichel, heard of him? He's pretty good. I hope he breaks 100 this year. Yeah, so that's good, and I guess Philly is one of those unique teams where the football team, the baseball team, the basketball, and hockey, they're all in the same area there in South Philly. So that's pretty cool, like right in the same complex or whatever. So they could really revitalize that whole area around there. And I heard it's pretty good. I've not been there. I got to get to a game there, go see the Flyers. Bill Clement, shout out, legend ESPN guy, used to live in Alaska, used to do GCI commercials, which is our local internet company up here. So pretty cool stuff. Okay. So yeah, I just wanted, and then TikTok will be banned in the US, I think, by the end of the week. So no more TikTok, I guess. Going to be crazy. I think like 145 million people in the States are on it. It's the app here. Like it's the one everybody's using. Pearlo, just slide a little bit to your, I'm going to say, yep, there you go. There you go. You don't have to stand up, man. You just need to like center yourself on your camera. I don't know if you can't see the screen, but when you can't see yourself.
Looking over at other things like.
Okay, well, you're sliding off the screen. So
we just found out that O'Reilly was out.
GDR Cinnamon Pony. GDR, Girl Doctor Cinnamon Pony. Oh, how we have missed you. Good to see you. So nice. Okay, I hope you're catching up with the shows. We may have some major news, GDR Cinnamon Pony. That's coming up here real soon. So, no, Avi, so we are in the content creator business, right? And yes, I'm not on TikTok, but it does affect, like, there's a lot of people like NEOD who won't return an email or respond to me about coming on this show has 50,000 subscribers on TikTok. But I don't know what her footprint is on, say, Instagram, which we're on. I know she's on there because I follow her. And does she have a YouTube footprint at all? I don't know. So it's going to be different, man. So there are people that, Hot Take streams on there. Pat McAfee show streams on TikTok. So like a lot of people use it. I just think people like going to one thing. They don't, I don't know if you can get accurate numbers of who's on what, but anyway, TikTok will be banned. So I'm wondering, you guys you'll still have it in Canada though.
I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not in Canada.
Well,
I used to use TikTok, but I stopped about a year ago.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I mean, if I'm putting hockey content out on TikTok, what are they learning? Unless you're buying stuff through TikTok, which I don't do. There's the only thing, all I'll do is I'll see something and I'll go, okay, let me see if Amazon has it, because I trust them as far as shipping and stuff goes. So I just am not. I don't mess with it. Like I don't try to buy. I bought some stuff through Instagram and it was like a problem. So yeah. So Avi, you say you use YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Okay. So you don't use TikTok at all. And you're a pretty young guy, right? Avi, you're what? You're in your early 20s. I don't know. Darkness says I don't use TikTok, but it being banned is stupid. Yeah, I think somebody will step up and buy it. It's like makes way too much money, man. You're not just gonna take the #1 app and one of the I don't know. I know it's big. So, and anyway, yeah, Avi, yeah. I mean, I think the kids are the ones that tell us. Like, I never got snapped. I had it, but I never I didn't keep it. I never used it. I use WhatsApp, I guess, because my kite skiing buddies are on that. So, but yeah, no, it's all good, man. Okay, that's all I had on the list. So what did you? We talked about bringing the trades and the team trade stuff. Wanted to see if you guys wanted to get into that, but before we get into that, was there any news or notes you guys had that you wanted to talk about?
Well, like I said, I heard today that Nashville's got O'Reilly out there for somebody to money pick up.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's got no trade protection either when he signed that deal, unless it's a handshake agreement. But Ryan O'Reilly has.
Yeah, but if it's not in the contract, dude, it don't matter.
For sure. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that I can think of.
I don't think that wasn't a signing from Trotz. That was a David Poile, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or did Trotz sign him?
Trying to make room to go after a big center in the offseason or whatever. I don't know, but
well, I know Trotz was working with.
He's only 32. Still got life in him for sure. Lots of life.
Yeah. Well, I heard he took. Yeah, I heard he took less money because I heard Toronto offered him more, but he didn't want to stay there because he didn't like how the locker room dynamic. So, clicky. Okay, so Kyprios came out with his list of trades too. So he came out with on Kipper's trade board 2.0 type races. I like Kipper because he names names that probably won't get traded, but he thinks would be good moves. #1 on his list, Elias Pettersson. #2, JT Miller. #3, Mikko Rantanen. So lots are being made that Colorado hasn't got this extension done. So the rumor is they're trying to get it in at around 11.25. So I just pay him the exact same amount of money as Nathan McKinnon and call it good. But Marty Necas, he has on the list. Brad Marchand, which, wow. But Boston's seemingly putting it back together, unfortunately. For their fans' sake, I think their fans don't want to be in the playoffs. I mean, Mike's been on here and talked. Seth Jones, but he has 9.5 left. Boy, he's in the third year of an 8-year contract, so there's 5 years left. But like, if you have a team that's like that has tons of cap space, like, can you imagine Columbus just taking him? Like, they could absorb the salary. You know, they didn't have to retain anything online anyway. I just thought it would be interesting to see him. They don't need him or anything, but
Arizona
maybe
would be good for that.
Arizona doesn't have a team. You mean the Utah Hockey Club?
Utah.
Okay. Mika's just send him to Arizona. He's just out there like,
for no reason.
We
just
traded
send him
you to
to
Arizona.
Yeah.
We traded you to the expansion Arizona team that's not going to be around for 3 years.
We're banking on them coming back into NHL. So when they do, you'll be playing.
They gave us a first-round draft pick in 2029.
Okay, I got one for you before you go on with Kipper's list. I didn't see Kipper's list, but I'll tell you one that I'm hearing, and it's gaining more traction, I think, is Taylor Hall out of Chicago. And I'm thinking it's even come out of his mouth that he'd like to go back and play in New Jersey.
Yeah,
I
like that fit. Yeah,
he won
like
an
that fit.
MVP there. And then I'll throw out Brock Nelson. Of course, he's tied to Minnesota because he's from there. This just makes all too much sense for Brock Nelson to go there.
He's
and then they're gonna have all that cap space to sign him after this year. But I heard Biz in the Spit and Chicklets podcast saying he heard a source saying not so fast about Brock Nelson. He heard somebody within another organization that he didn't name. So it's not just Minnesota that's gonna be going after him. So I'll throw one out there. I'll say Brock Nelson and Toronto Maple Leafs for Fraser Minton, Ryan Reeves, Florida's 2025 second-round pick, and Edmonton's 2025 third-round.
Okay, so why would they take Reeves?
Because of the salary.
Okay,
I think
Reeves is at 1.4. So Brock Nelson, I figured it out. They'd have to retain, I think, about $3
Why wouldn't they?
On this deal.
Okay, so this is interesting. So Hot Take Hockey talked about this when he was on last night. Would you just do Brock Nelson and like Adam Pelech?
If you can butter it up and make the deal even a little bit bigger. Absolutely.
No. But all the other stuff you included, Reeves, because like salary, the second round pick, Easton Cowan.
I'd do Cowan before. Minton or Cowan. I mean, they're both.
To me, Toronto, you're trying to win now. Easton Cowan is the future. You bring in a guy that you can sign long-term that can help you win. Now, Brock Nelson, to me, isn't that guy. See, to me,
he's into his early 30s. He's scored over 30 goals his last 3 years. I mean,
no, I know, but he's really not having a great year, and he's 33 years old. To me,
playing on the Islanders with a Barzal that's hurt. There's nobody to play with him over there.
So what I'm saying is, I would make this deal, but instead of doing it with the New York Islanders, I'd do it with the Calgary Flames, and I would get Nazem Kadri, who I think would be a better center, more versatile player for Toronto, the attitude that they need in that. And Domi, too, like, he's stifling, man. So let's get some skill to play with him. Like, to me, the problem with him, he's not putting the puck in the net. So I think if he was scoring at like a 25, 30 goal pace for the year, he'd be paying top on the top line. I feel like he can do that role. They can have an undersized forward there. I just wouldn't play him in the same line as Marner. But that Kadri move is an off-season move for the Flames. They aren't going to. Yeah, and I heard today the Flames are one. Let me just finish Kipper's list, but I heard the Flames don't want to trade Rasmus Anderson. They're going to re-sign him, it looks like.
So, no, Calgary's
he's a UFA.
They're not.
Yeah,
so I left off with Seth Jones, Mika Zibanejad, Dylan Cousins, Brock Besser, Sam Bennett, Nazem Kadri, Mario Ferraro. That's a one I love. Rasmus Ristolainen, John Gibson, Scott Mayfield, Scott Lawton, which I don't think Scott Lawton's getting traded. Ivan Provorov, Marcus Pettersson, David Savard, Nikolai Ehlers, Brock Nelson, Kyle Palmieri, Terrell Hall, Yanni Gord, Brandon Tanev. Okay, I'd love to see the Tanev brothers together in Toronto land too. That would be sweet. Toronto needs another injection of a spicy winger. I think Brandon Tanev would be an awesome fit. He's an Ontario boy too, isn't he? So aren't they? Yeah.
And the McLeod moved up to the second line center tonight. Then that just goes to show that Buffalo's trying to move him up the lineup and see how he does and see how he progresses because Cousins, the name is written on the wall right now.
But
so
he had a goal tonight.
The lineup.
Did he not? Yeah. Didn't Cousins have a goal tonight though? He did have a goal tonight. So Cousins had his. So McLeod. Okay, so Cousins got his 10th goal. McLeod got his 8th, 9th, and 10th goal in the game. So just moving McLeod up. And by the way, McLeod was all over the ice. I thought he was the best forward for them tonight in that game. And
I talked to him before the game. He told me grab my goal scoring prop on plus 500. Rico, put it on the board.
Dude, I like that kid. Shout out to BC. He built his Philadelphia Flyers rebuild by adding McLeod into the second line center role. I like that move. I really think that kid's going to develop into a really good top 6 forward for sure. And to be quite frank, Edmonton made a mistake getting rid of that guy. We're talking about Holloway and Broberg. If they'd have kept Holloway, Broberg, and him, I think Edmonton is looking at like 120-point season this year. Because they're playing really good hockey right now. And I just feel like, wow, if they didn't have, maybe you still get Podkolzin. You figure I like that signing for them. He's been good for them. He scored again tonight too. Arvidsson getting an assist too, which is nice. That game's still live, by the way. It's 4-3 Edmonton with 10 minutes to go. Podkolzin was the go-ahead actually on that. So anyway, I'll try to update you on that, guys. Okay, so what was the homework assignment and what did you guys come up with?
I thought the homework assignment was trade scenarios.
Yeah.
I told you what I came up with.
That was you. Did yours, Pearlo? What do you got?
Well, I like O'Reilly to Utah. That was one of them. If you're looking at Besser, I think.
Hold on, I'm really curious. What do they give up? Do you just think they give up a prospect in their system for O'Reilly?
They would give up probably one of their later first round picks and a guy like.
But I think I'll just say this, not to poo-poo that. Nashville has a ton of picks. I think they have like 27 picks in the next like 3. They have a bunch of picks.
Yeah, well, that's anyway. What they're going to get more, and I imagine they're going to go after a big center in the offseason. I don't know who it would be. I'm just going by the fact that he's supposed to be out there.
So they would move up.
I think Utah really needs a guy there to show their guys how.
O'Reilly would fit in Utah. I kind of like O'Reilly in Utah. I think he would be a good fit there. I love that, Pearlo.
Anyways, the other one would be the team that should trade everybody away is Boston, but it's not going to happen. And I think you'd see, you talked about Besser. I would look towards Boston for that, for Besser. They'd have to give up one of their D-men. Like,
well, maybe Besser's in part of the move with like Pettersson, because.
I don't think
so here's my thing. I think if Vancouver comes off Pettersson or Miller, one of the two, that they're going to re-sign Besser. I think they'll keep Besser there at like 7, 9, or 8 million.
I think you'll see Miller long before you'll see Pettersson. I don't think Pettersson's going anywhere. Nowhere.
Yeah, Sod says Vancouver will trade Miller or Pettersson, but they will not trade Besser. I don't believe they'll trade Besser either. But sad, Besser's a free agent after this year, so they have to sign him like before July 1st, or. I still think Besser stays, but I will say, though, Besser's a Minnesota guy. Minnesota's going to have some money to spend. They're going to have the $14 million coming off the books.
I got another one.
Yeah.
Okay. So if for some reason Calgary falls out of the race a little bit and maybe
they aren't, though. That's the problem.
Okay. So, I mean, if they ever do, and then if they do decide to say, Rasmus Anderson will trade you, we'll get something for you, then if you want, we could resign you in the offseason. That's always a dangerous game to play, but a team that can use them, Dallas Stars, Rasmus Anderson, take Liam Bichel, Jogan Stankoven, and Dallas's first-round pick in 2027. Now we get Rasmus Anderson to the Dallas Stars. Play with his countryman, Miro Heiskanen.
They need him too. They could
I would-
use him.
I would say Buffalo, and they give up a boatload for him. Buffalo, Darlene and Anderson will not finally get a right-hand D there.
Oh, gee,
He's
that would
not
be
too-
awesome
He's
too.
not too old. He's
What?
still
Hey,
young.
would
They're
you
from the
get-
same country, aren't they?
So,
Rasmus Anderson
okay.
and Miro Heiskanen.
who? So, do you do Byram
same thing.
for Anderson? Do you do Byram for Anderson?
Oh,
I wish Bacon.
I
He
would
did
if
have
I
to
was
give up more
Buffalo. I
than
wouldn't
Byram.
if I was Calgary. Well,
I would do it if I was Buffalo because Anderson's only 28. You still got 7 good years with that guy. You could sign him to an 8-year extension if you trade for him now. So I like Anderson for them, and I like Byram, who can be the top left D for the Calgary Flames.
No,
Like,
I
that's
see. Yeah, I
'Cause he want-
think they'd have to give up more than Byram, but if they got away with that, freaking Buffalo would be laughing.
You think they would have to give more than Byram? I think
Yes,
Calgary would have to
absolutely.
give more than Anderson.
Ooh,
No,
I
I
don't
think.
know.
No,
Listen, I'm just saying for the long. Okay, I'm with you guys. I think Rasmus Anderson is one of the most underrated defensemen in the NHL. I would take him on my team in the New York Minute, and he's just top D on any team. Is he right shot?
yes.
Yeah, he's a right shot. You're talking
Yeah.
a guy that's established in his career than a guy on the up and up right now.
I mean,
So
if
it's a little tough
Edmonton
to
had
judge
Rasmus,
this trade.
if Edmonton had, I'm saying you're paying for the potential of Byram. That's why I feel like Calgary would have to give up more. Because one, if they just make the trade and there's not an extension in place for Rasmus Anderson, which if you're Buffalo, why would you do that anyway? You don't want to do an extension. You want to see how he plays.
If there's not an extension in place, yes, I agree with you there
If-
for sure.
Yeah, and if
But-
Buffalo could turn Casey Middlestad into Rasmus Anderson, that's a huge win for them.
Right.
Yeah. But
I agree.
I agree though. What if, like, I don't think Buffalo does it if there's no extension. Why would they? They're out of the playoffs. It doesn't make sense. It'd have to be an extension.
Yeah, I think the Dallas has got to do something on their right side too. They're in trouble. See,
For
that's
sure.
why I like the Rasmus Anderson, and they have the assets to give up, but they're not going to give up a Bischel or something. They're going to have to give up a guy that's in their system though that's good. And I'm going to guess Calgary's going to look on the D side. So, and you look, they've just Harley, Bischel, Heiskanen, that Jim Nill, and those guys have just crushed it there. Like I love how the Capitals are doing. Like, hard to not love what the Dallas Stars have done. And the only thing Dallas hasn't done is won a Stanley Cup in the last 10 years. And the really well-run teams are winning, and Greg Wyshynski said this on, and I wanted to ask you guys about this. Jeff Merrick show, The Sheet, they do the show Wednesday every day. It's like I guess Greg and Jeff did a show a long time ago. It was called something. Anyway, had a diehard fan base. So they kind of reunited. Greg Wyshynski, by the way, he's like the lead writer for ESPN and hockey. So pretty cool to have him on Jeff's Nation Network show. Greg Wyshynski said this, and I loved it. He said, Leon Draisaitl signing an extension does not proclaim that McDavid will extend there. So he thinks if they don't do well in the playoffs the next couple of years, that McDavid will test free agency. And I 1,000,000% know where he'll sign. What do you guys think?
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. If they would trade him before they let him go. Sure, they're not going to just let him go. Of course, he has a no movement clause, so if he wanted to, he could just say, "Screw it, I'll just go." I think it would be the Rangers themselves.
No,
Go to the highest profile team.
I mean, they would be a team that would want to sign him. It would make so much sense for him to play there. It just wouldn't make so much sense. But I think it's Toronto. Because one, Toronto isn't locked long term into Austin Matthews. He's only got like 3 years left on his deal, right, Rico?
Yeah, he kept taking those short termers instead of,
which is smart for him. He made right decision.
Sure.
Now, listen, this could backfire for him too, because you don't know what you're going to be in 3 years. And I'll tell you right now, I don't hear Austin Matthews breaking Alexander Ovechkin. He's going to break Ovechkin's goal record when Ovi passes Gretzky. Well, he has to play some games.
He's missing too many games.
He can't stay healthy, man. So, like, that's the thing for me. And this is why I said this could be a good thing for the Leafs. What if Matthews is like a 40-goal scorer in 3 years, but he isn't a two-way player and he's slowed down because of, like, injuries? You ain't going to have to pay him a shitload. You might get him for 8 something, 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may benefit the Leafs. And then along comes a Connor McDavid, and you can go, yeah, come back to your hometown, 14 million, 15, 20, whatever the cap is. You know, and you're still going to win. You know?
I could see it. I mean, his parents still live around here.
So I was going to say 2027 would be how many years the Leafs had won the cup. Let's just say they don't win this year, next year, but in the year they bring McDavid in.
What, like 60 years, 70 years?
Well, 67 to 2007 was 40 years. 2017 was 50 years. So, yeah, we'd be 60 years from them winning the cup, which isn't that long when you consider, like, Chicago Cub fans would be like, whatever. You know, they went like 100 years without winning a championship. So,
yeah, but yeah, I guess. I mean, there's no salary cap in baseball, so but Chicago Cubs kind of had money as a team, and they never really bottomed out too much. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to think that a team hasn't won that long.
I mean, would you?
Yeah, I'd go streaking down the street if we got McDavid.
I was gonna say, okay. Well, you may have to film that for the show. We'll just have to blur it out and be like, "Here's Rico streaking." But at least Rico, it'll be probably in the summer that you find out, so it won't be like freezing ass cold or anything.
Yeah, we'll just have the old jock strap with the hockey helmet on and the sunglasses on, so nobody knows who I am.
Okay, so in 3 years when we're doing this show, we're gonna hold Rico to 2027, which I guess is summer of 2027.
I'll do it on rollerblades.
Yep, that sounds good. And you know, we'll let you wear like a loincloth or something. We don't want you going to jail for indecent exposure.
I'll put the hockey jock on with the helmet, with the visor, and
that we could even show on the dang
the aviators and
that works. Not totally nude, but yeah.
No,
maybe we make you do it in the wintertime. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Do that too.
No. That's
McDavid
good.
comes to Toronto, boys. It's you know what? It's not far-fetched to say. It's either he likes the old don't try on a different jersey and go the Crosby route and just try to break the Oiler player records and all that. I mean, Gretzky's gonna have most of those. So, and he played somewhere else too. So,
well, no, I will say he could pass him for all-time Oilers points easily.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wins a couple of cups there, I mean, it's already a shoo-in. He's in the Hall of Fame. If he doesn't play a game again, if he like died in a car crash tomorrow, they'd put him in the Hall of Fame right away. They're like, oh, great player.
Yeah, maybe the writing's on the wall by the time his contract's up, and he's like, I don't think I'm gonna win a cup here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they don't win the next 2 seasons, this is why I don't get like, and they don't have anybody to trade. So keep the people you have. Like, keep who you have. It made no sense. Like, give them the money and figure out who you got to trade, because those guys are your future, you know? So Connor McDavid gives me extra cash every night over 1.5 points. So free wild banged up over 3.5 shots. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Jari will clear waivers. I do. I think Jari will clear waivers for certain, man. Really sorry, I'm getting notifications. Apologize if that was. Okay. All right, Pearlo. Pearlo's pick for trade was Ryan O'Reilly to Utah. I loved it. Rico, recap yours again.
So Brock Nelson to the Leafs. that was one of them, and Rasmus Anderson to Dallas.
Yeah, I would love that.
Bischel, Stankoven, and a first. I mean,
so tonight we had 2 whole games, and it looks like this game is in like it's over. There's 4 minutes left, and it's 5-3 Edmonton, so that game's over. Again, I think Edmonton has had a very soft schedule, a lot of home games, and they caught, I think, one of the better teams in the Central when they have the most injuries they have. So I just don't put any stock in these wins. Let's see what they do in the playoffs. LA looks better. LA looked really, really good, and they're missing maybe arguably their best player in Drew Doughty. So he's coming back. They could add. It's going to be really interesting. I think the West is a monster. So there's going to be some teams that need to add. And I think Edmonton is one of them, and they got to make a really killer move. And I just don't know what they do. Like, who can they move? Like, no one's taking Jeff Skinner off their hands. They're stuck with him. So he's either going to play playoff games or they're going to waive him. They got to get that second right shot D figured out, I think. And then they're like, oh, they're trying not to play McDavid and them a lot. Well, I bet you McDavid's going to be close to 20 minutes tonight because they were playing from behind the whole game or for a good part of the game. So what's his numbers? I mean, by the time they get to the playoffs, is he averaging 23 minutes a night as a forward? I just think that that's a recipe for disaster. And then every time they are behind, they have no faith in any of their depth. They literally put McDavid, Nugent, like they just put out the super line. So that worries me a little bit too if I'm an Oilers supporter. Again, picked them to win the cup, but I think they have some flaws. And I think, I know Pearlo, he picked them not to make them, or you had a future on them not to make the playoffs.
I wasn't sure if they weren't, but
I feel like you could say every move they made in the offseason was not a great move. Podkolzin.
Except for Emerson. That was it. And Podkolzin was pretty good.
Emerson's panning out.
Better than I thought.
But Emerson early in the season, man, I was hearing it. I was hearing it from Yaremchuk and from those guys at Oilers Nation. Those guys are respected too. I'm not just talking like normal fans. So anyway, 13 games tomorrow.
Yeah, we better get on those.
We're on them. Devils, Maple Leafs. Rico, your Maple Leafs. Do they get back on track? They're coming off a stinker. Two stinkers in a row. One to Vancouver and one to the Dallas Stars, who they usually play really well against.
Yeah, and there's something going on with Tavares too. I don't know what's happening with him all of a sudden, but he's being evaluated for injury, and I don't know. It just doesn't seem well with the way they were talking on the fan today. But New Jersey got Stefan Nason out, Hall out. We got Tavares, McCabe out. So
you guys are still missing Yarn, Croak, Hawk and Paw, Jake McCabe.
Yeah, they're gone.
So, but Rico, this is good though that you're having the injury problems when you're in first place.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So, who cares if you slip to second or just stay close to first? I would love to see the Leafs win the division. I think it would help them. But like, you want to have these injury problems in the middle of the season. You want to be healthy when you hit the playoffs. That's all that matters, right?
Absolutely.
So who do you like here?
Give me the draw here. I can't take a side.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet this game at all. I actually don't think New Jersey's played that well either. So I wouldn't touch this game. Pearlo.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing. In fact, you're going to hear this a lot. I like to draw, and I got a slight lean to New Jersey, but I got the draw.
Okay. All right. Capitals, Senators. I actually really like the Senators here. But the Caps had a great game. They looked pretty good against, not a really good Anaheim team. So I don't know how much stock you put into it. The only thing I'd be concerned with is the goaltending for Ottawa. And yeah, Charlie Lindgren, I guess, is back in the lineup. But I don't think he'll start. I think they'll roll Logan Thompson again because it's not a back-to-back. So, but it's a road game. And I know Ottawa plays pretty solid at home. So too bad you ain't at this one, Rico. What do you think, Ottawa?
Yeah, I've seen Washington in that building before, so I got to see OB live play, which was nice. But yeah, a little tricky. I know Lindgren's traveling with the team, but it'll probably be Thompson in net in this one. And both these teams are on a bit of a roll right now. Tough game to call. There's another one. I mean, thing is, Washington has Pittsburgh next. They're going to Ottawa real quick
That's the
after being
thing. We
home
got
against the Ducks.
Pittsburgh.
So yeah, this is a sneaky spot for Ottawa because Washington was at home against the Ducks, fly to Ottawa real quick, then back home against Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
tricky spot for them. So yeah, I don't mind taking the Senators here. You just get good money just betting Ottawa on this spot. So I mean, yeah, the goaltender situation. I mean, Anton Forsberg's a little bit inconsistent there. That's the only thing that scares me. If it's Logan Thompson against Forsberg, I mean, geez, he got to go with Washington in that spot. Tough game. Give me the Caps. Ottawa's too inconsistent.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm still with Sens. Perlo, where are you at? You said draw.
That Pittsburgh next. If it's as long as it's Medellin, I'm on Ottawa, and I'm gonna play the draw on almost every one of these games because I think.
Okay. All right, Ducks
I'm on
Lightning,
Ottawa.
Perlo. Ducks Lightning. Ducks are plus 245. That makes sense, and I also think Braden Point, after being a healthy scratch for missing a team meeting, is going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have lost to Boston. That was a bad loss for them, in my opinion, because I think Boston is god awful. And then they miss Lindholm. They've got some injuries and stuff, but I know they called Poitras up, so that's a good thing. And then, so what do you guys like here, Ducks Lightning? Just real fast.
Yeah, I'll take Lightning. I think they're going to destroy them. Points back in the lineup. I'll take Lightning puck line or regulation. Just no matter which one makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely
We'll
plus
probably
1.5.
Gibson.
Yeah, because it's such a big margin of error. Perlo, you got to like the Lightning in this one. I can't see you beat.
Yeah, I already put a couple bets out on Twitter there. You can go check those out. But just go straight lines. I'll take. You can get more bets there. Minus 1.5 Tampa Bay. I think they're going to ruin them.
And Perlo's Twitter.
To get a goal in the first period is plus 500, so I'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Red Wings Panthers. That's gonna be a good game. Actually, I actually like Red Wings. Finally, the win streak got snapped by the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, I actually like the Panthers here all day. I think the Panthers have actually been playing some pretty good hockey, and they've been getting points. So, love the Panthers 6-2. Avi says, "Perlo, what are you thinking on this game?"
Yeah, I agree. I mean, usually when a team goes through a long streak like that and they lose, especially to a bad team, they have a rough outing the next night. So I think Florida probably wins that in regulation as well. So.
Yeah, I'll take the other side for the plus money. I'll take Detroit, Florida, 3 games in 4 nights. I think Detroit might catch them a little bit here, and just their new coach will just have them right back into focus mode. You know, don't let this drag on. We were doing so well. The one little hiccup against San Jose. Let's just get on the road and try to beat a good team here that might be a little tired as the game goes on. So I'll take the plus money with Detroit.
Okay, nice. You know I'm all about the plus money. Sharks and Blue Jackets. Go ahead, Rico.
Oh, sneaky, man. You're going to get Askarov here probably. Good goaltender for San Jose. They could beat anybody coming off a high against Detroit, but Columbus is so good at home. They're on a roll right now, 5 in a row.
I wouldn't bet this game.
Because
I like both teams, and I love watching both. This is the game I'm going to have on the big screen. I'm not putting the Caps on the big screen. I'm going to pay attention to this game.
Yeah. Give me Columbus. They're rolling.
I'm not betting it because I want to enjoy watching it. So, I
think this will be a barn burner. Give me the over. I think there'll be lots of goals both ways. Even though Askarov is
and the over is 6.5.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
Yeah. Avi likes Sharks. Sharks money line all day. Macklin and the boys are coming. Yep. I don't know, man. I'm gonna just.
You're gonna make money betting on the Sharks, and any of these teams could win this game. And Askarov could make a few more saves than Merzlikins can, and it could be just a victory for San Jose.
Could be.
Yeah. Flyers, Islanders.
I think we'll both say it at the same time.
Draw. Rico, are you draw? This is a game I don't care about at all.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I will
I won't
definitely
be watching this game. I don't care about this game.
Well,
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
7:30 start time, so I know it'll be on my screens. But it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm not going to be that concerned about it.
Yeah, the
Philly
mid to
needs
late 70s. If these teams played each other in like the late 70s, it would probably
Yeah.
be an ideal matchup. to
Oh,
watch.
no, exactly. It's the Saturday night game of the week on a Thursday. But yeah, it's just a bummer. And they're two big markets, obviously. Flames Blues. This is a decent game. Flames are plus money. They've actually been playing some pretty good hockey. I don't know what to make of the Blues. Sometimes they look really good, and sometimes they just look like really mediocre. So they're kind of like the Islanders of the West, honestly.
Give me Wolfie at home. I'll take Calgary. They already lost to St. Louis. It's instant revenge. Or so they lost. Yeah, they already lost in St. Louis. Now they're going to play them again. I say Calgary with Wolf in that.
Okay, so this game's in St. Louis, and it was 2-1 last game, and none of these teams can score. They're both the bottom quarter of the league in goals for, so I'll take the draw all day.
Draw Calgary.
Okay. Blackhawks Preds, where are you guys thinking on this one? Plus 205. I mean, good God, man. I would maybe take the Hawks here. I don't know, though. Pretty good win for the Predators beating the Vegas Golden Knights. They're coming off maybe their biggest win of the year. Guess there was money on the board for Marchie there or something, huh? Rico beat his old team pretty bad. So
give me Chicago. I'll take Chicago. Nashville just a really hungover Vegas team. They think they're good. They're going to go into Chicago, and Chicago.
Well, it's at home. It's in Nashville.
Sorry, they're going to go back home, or they're going to play Chicago, and they think they're good, and they're not. Sorry, it's not.
Yeah, they beat Vegas in Nashville. So I mean, there's
they
that.
Beat them in Nashville. Yeah, I think Vegas was hung over all the shit.
I don't know. I just think Vegas didn't play a good game, and it was a 6-2 final, but it was really like they got up 4-0. So Vegas got back in the game.
They had one shot in the first period. Vegas.
Yeah, pretty rough.
Yeah, Nashville's a big favorite against Chicago. Like it's Chicago or nothing here.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't even bet this game if you're not taking Chicago. Canadian Stars in Dallas. Canadians plus 195. Aren't the Canadians the hottest team in the NHL still?
Pretty close, yeah.
But that Emil Heineman going down for them is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
Avi's all over. He goes Habs, most Stars underrated game slate. Give me Montreal plus 190. And they're hungry as to break the playoffs.
I'll take Montreal too. Dallas is off a road trip. I'll take the Habs here. Dallas is on a long one too.
Yeah. All right. I like it. That's a sneaky
good
one.
The only thing I don't like about it is I think Montreal just beat them not too long ago, but
2-1. It was not a blowout by any means. Dallas beat them 2-1, Pearlo. Dallas won that game.
Beat them 2-1? Okay, yeah. Give me the Habs.
Okay. All right. Kraken Jets. Go ahead, Pearlo.
Oh, Jets just obliterated.
I wouldn't even bet this game. The Jets are too favored.
Jets team total. Put Grubauer in that, please, and I'll take Jets team total over 3.5.
Really nice win by the Kraken coming back to beat the Penguins in reg. Really nice. Because they were losing that game and came back. They were winning most of the game and then lost the lead and then came back with 2 goals in like under a minute, and to win that game. I think they ended up getting an empty netter, like 5-2 final.
If just keep an eye on who Winnipeg plays in net. They're playing every second day for the last little while and going forward. So I don't know if they're going to keep rolling with Hellebuck here, even though they got to start
thinking about not letting him go. I know he likes to go, but like he's been abysmal in the playoffs. And I think it's because he's overplayed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So look for Comrie maybe in this spot. Maybe take a sneaky +1.5 with Seattle, even +2.5, and you'll probably almost get even money.
If they put Comrie in Seattle, probably put Grubauer in. Just give me the over. We'll go on.
Well, yeah, I think is Drieger back for them though? Because Grubauer played in Pittsburgh.
Decord, yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
it probably is Decord because he just got back, so they want to keep him playing. So if it's Decord, maybe Seattle's got a shot. I don't know. Winnipeg is playing like a bat out of hell right now. So.
Okay, Rangers at Utah Hockey Club. I actually think the Rangers have played some pretty good hockey as of late.
They're playing some tight games. Even that game against Colorado played it pretty good. I mean, Utah's lost a couple in a row, so they need to get their game back together here too, especially losing to the Islanders and the Habs. Like, those are winnable games usually going into the year when you look at this part of the schedule. Like, they had San Jose, the Islanders, Canadians. They could have just picked up more points than just 2 there in 3 games. So yeah, I mean, what's the money looking like here? Yeah, Utah's favored. Rangers plus money on the road.
Yeah, they're back. I'm not getting any fair. I got -108 for the Rangers, -1. I mean, to me, there's not a plus favorite in this game. It's a yeah.
Sturkin and Vejmelka are confirmed already.
Yeah, Vejmelka's played really, really well. We haven't even talked about it on this show. Connor Ingram missed a ton of time because his mother was sick and ultimately died in December. Again, T's and P's to Connor Ingram. But Connor Ingram has been their starter the last couple of years. Vejmelka's kind of fallen off. So good to see Vejmelka kind of get his game back. Because I always thought he was a solid goalie, you know. Okay. The next game, this game I'm going to be watching, see if that dirty ass McDavid elbows players in the they're interviewing them and stuff. So let's see if they ask him about the dirty ass elbow. So Nate Dogg ain't going to take that. Oilers and Avalanche. I like the Avs here. Finally, the Oilers lose a game because they get a team on rest. And so this is their first back-to-back. I can remember them playing at all this year. I know they played a bunch, so I'm just saying, like, Rico, what do you like? Oilers, Avs.
Yeah, the Avs got a bit of a string of teams here. They played the Wild, beat them, lost to the Jets, beat the Rangers. Now they got the Oilers, then the Stars, then the Wild, then the Jets. Like, they're running through the gauntlet here right now.
Yeah,
Colorado.
But they're playing good. They're playing good hockey, and since they've gotten Mackenzie Blackwood, they've been good. And this is gonna be Stuart Skinner against Mackenzie Blackwood. Stuart Skinner's coming. What's Stuart Skinner coming off a shutout? I bet his numbers aren't good.
I don't know, but I like Colorado. They're sitting at home already waiting for Edmonton, and Edmonton's got to take this flight out of Minnesota after this game, so it's a quick turnaround for them. Yeah, it's Colorado here.
Yeah. Perlo.
Yeah, I'm leaning Colorado as well.
Okay, don't lean back too far. Okay. What did I say about leaning back too far?
He looks like the Predator again.
Dude,
sorry.
Don't lean back too far, man, because you start to disappear on screen.
Yeah, I'll take the draw and Colorado. In the last game, I'll take the draw on that one too.
Okay, Kings and Canucks draws? Really? Man, the Canucks got beat 6-1. You don't like the Kings here?
Oh, no. I said the previous because I didn't say it. Utah and Rangers. This game, I like the Kings. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you already gave your Utah Rangers pick. Sorry.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't give it. No.
Okay, well, we don't have to get to all of them.
Kings. This one, I like the Kings.
Okay. All right, Rico, who do you like?
Me too. Yeah, I like LA too. Right. Vancouver off the road trip.
Okay, that's all the games. We'll be live tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern. You guys got anything before we go?
Not really, man. You know,
no, we went through everything. I think
we'll be talking about how McDavid should be suspended for that elbow tomorrow.
Well, that, and I hope Malkin gets his Stanley Cup rings back. What's the chances if you put the percentage of him getting those rings back in his possession? What do you put the percentage or chances?
Super high. Happening? I just think the only way someone could offload him is to like some Russian billionaire.
Or they melt them down and stuff. Don't they do that kind of stuff?
No, I mean, there's no value in it if you did that. The money is in what they are. The jewelry, the
the
diamonds and stuff
craftsmanship of it. Yeah.
It's that it's his too. I think one of them he won a Conn Smythe. Always forgotten that he won the Conn Smythe trophy. I think the 09 one he was the Conn Smythe winner. He was a monster in that playoff.
Even if some Russian rich guy, you couldn't really show it off.
But I'm saying if the Russian rich guy bought him, he'd have to probably give him back to him because he knows the guy.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be pretty interesting to know if like Mahomes and all Burrow and them got all their stuff back, like eventually after being robbed too. I wonder where they are in those processes. But I don't know, man. Stanley Cup rings. These guys weren't going. I don't know. It's hard to say what they were going after, or
I mean, so what? I heard the safe was left unlocked, so.
They probably didn't even know it's a Stanley Cup ring or anything.
So I think these people are getting into these houses, and I think just people forgot how to secure their shit. Like if your doors are locked, your stuff is secure. That's not necessarily the case. So, I mean, my neighbor has a lot of guns. Every one of them's in a gun safe. He has multiple gun safes. So that'll also deter you from breaking into somebody's house, but they know these professional athletes' schedules, man. Like I said, we've had stuff stolen on our property here. I've been home. Now we have camera security system and stuff, but I'm home all the time.
Yeah.
So,
and if you make that type of money, you would have a couple Doberman pinchers and like a house sitter that would stay at your house.
Well, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think NHL guys have ever had to worry about anything like this ever. This is some new stuff. And this is what happens when you have an economy that's showing signs of failure too. Like what happens in our most violent time, the economy was terrible, but also we decided to ban alcohol. Like,
but you think you'd have a security system. I know back in the day, I could see it happening more than today. I think you'd have motion sensors that would activate your phone or send it to your security company when there'd be motion on your property. They'd be alerted to go there or something. Like, I don't know.
No. So here's the thing. They have security systems. These people are so high tech, they're getting around them. They're using countermeasures to disarm the system. So these people don't know they've been fleeced until they get back home or until the alarm company gets a hold of them and says, our alarm has been breached or whatever. I'm sure a lot of these alarm companies know after the fact, like, hey, we can't check in on your place, whatever. So, I mean, dude, there's nothing that's perfect. There's go-arounds for everything.
Yeah.
Everything has a go-around because if you accidentally input it, how do you get around it? Well, they have to call and verify and do all this, but like it's a lot easier, I think. And now with all this AI technology and stuff, man, like good Lord. Like
you could put a different face on a different body and make him look like the robber.
I mean, seriously, man. That happened in a movie. It's an old school movie with Sean Connery and Wesley Snipes. Is it Rising Sun? Anyway.
Rising Sun?
I don't know. Anyway, because it's like a 90s movie, they're like, oh yeah, they take this guy's face. He murdered this lady, but it's not his face. They like digitally, they did it. It was so high tech, but now it would be like
that was like Face Off. Wasn't that Face Off with Nick Cage and somebody else?
Right, but they actually swapped each other's faces. This was a guy committed a murder. It's based off a Michael Crichton book. Is it Rising Sun? Yeah, Rising Sun. Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. It is from, what year was it? 1993. Check that movie out. It's still a good movie. It still holds up. But the technology is so advanced now, you could just make the whole thing look like anybody. You could literally put like multiple faces over, like once they clear, oh, it's this guy. Oh, it's this guy. It's this guy. So...
Well, they're dubbing people's voices on these videos online too. Like they have like people talking and they're saying like sports guys doing interviews and stuff. And they're saying like completely
the funny, Jerry Jones video that's going around about how he fired Mike McCarthy when he didn't fire Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's contract was up. So he just didn't rehire Mike McCarthy. But yeah, there's all this. I fired him because he's a fat, blah, blah, blah. It's all it's like, you know, the problem is, this is what scares me about this, Rico, is that people are dumb. And some people are going to think that's real.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what makes me nervous, because people are stupid. If people were not dumb, then I would be like, I'm fine with it. It's hilarious. But part of me is like, it's funny, but I'm also like very scared about how many people are going to, oh, did you see this guy talking? You wouldn't believe. Yeah, it's not real, brother. Like, it's not real. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe we need to come up with a law that says this is like AI is stamped on the thing, that it's made with AI, that it's not, meaning it's not real. It's just made for entertainment, because people are dumb. Like, McDonald's had to put "this coffee is hot" on their coffee cups because they got sued a ton.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Wait till somebody gets sued for getting herded like a sheep by thinking this is real, and all of a sudden you go and jump off your freaking house because your favorite coach got fired.
Herded like a sheep. That sounds like American politics right now. What are you talking about? Oh my dear Lord. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern. 13 games on the slate. See you tomorrow.